everybody! Welcome to a special edition video for Z Budapest's December issue of the Goddess magazine. Stay tuned after the video so you can find out how to link to this incredible resource. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody! Today we are going to make Solstice Cakes, and these are one of my favorite cakes to make. Yay! So the ingredients that you're going to need for the Solstice Cakes are 1 box of yellow cake mix, and enough high pulp orange juice to replace the liquid portion of the cake mix. And you're also going to need all the ingredients to make the cake mix that's on the box. 1/4 cup of mandarin oranges drained, 1/2 tub of cream cheese, 20 slices of pineapple rounds, 3/4 cup of butter, and 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. So the first thing that we're going to do is preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're going to want to grease 2 large cupcake tins. And I like to use just plain olive oil in one of these little Pampered Chef pumps. And make sure that you get the edges very, very well, since this does have a lot of sugary substances in them. And the cakes tend to stick quite often. So, once you're done, you're going to set those aside. Then, we're going to mix the topping. Now the topping has 3/4 of a cup of butter and 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar. We're going to mix these together. And this is going to be the topping that the pineapple sets on in the tin. And mix it very, very well. And you're also going to want to get the butter or butter substitute to room temperature so it's a lot easier to mix together. Alright, now that we have the topping thoroughly mixed, we're going to put it in the bottom of the tins. I recommend that you get a second spoon so that it's easier to put the batter in the bottom of the tin. And you just take it and put it in the bottom. And this will spread out once it starts baking. Once all the tins are filled with the topping, then we're going to add the pineapple rounds. Now, since the round is a lot bigger than the bottom of the tin, I suggest or recommend that you take off a small portion of the pineapple slice and just kind of hold it in your hand, and then this is going to be enough for the bottom of the tin. Now, another thing that I like to do is kind of mush the topping down just a little bit, and then put that on, and then just kind of poke it down in there. So we're going to do this to all of the tins. And then these small pieces you can actually use to make a round as well. Perfect. So we're going to do this until we fill up all the tins with the pineapple rounds. Okay, so now that we're done putting all the pineapple rounds in the tins, we're going to set these aside and make the filling. Now we're going to make the filling. You're going to need 1/2 tub of cream cheese. I prefer tofutti cream cheese because I'm lactose intolerant. And you don't have to be exact with this. So you put it in here and kind of mix it around so that it gets quite soft and pliable, because we are going to be mixing the oranges with it. Okay, so once that's fairly well mixed up, we're going to take the mandarin oranges. We're going to need 1/4 cup. And we're going to blast them in the food processor for a few seconds. Here. And it just needs to go in here for a few seconds. Just until they're broken up. And then we're going to put this in with the cream cheese and mix it together. This is going to add a really nice filling and a real nice zing when you're eating these Solstice cakes. So we're going to set this aside and make the cake. Now we're going to make the cake portion of the Solstice Cakes. Now this part gets a little tricky. You're going to need 1 box of yellow cake mix. Now, use all the ingredients that the cake mix calls for, typically eggs or egg substitute, a type of butter, and water. Now, use the egg or egg substitute and the butter, but instead of using water, use high pulp orange juice. So I've got the first 2 ingredients in there. Then I'm going to put the dry cake mix in the bowl. Then I'm going to add the 1 1/4 cup of orange juice. And this will give it such sweet flavor and yay. So now we're going to mix it as directed on the box. Now that we're done mixing the cake batter, we're going to fill our tins. Fill it up with 1 big spoonful. And they're going to be almost completely full, which is fine because the topping will sink down and the pineapple will reduce just a little bit. So fill up all the tins and then we'll be ready to put the topping in, or the filling. Now that we're done filling up the tops, what I like to do is, see, this one has a little bit extra, so I'm going to take some of that out and put it in here. So now we are going to put the filling in the cups. Yay! Get your filling and take, you don't need a whole bunch, just a small amount, and you put it in the very center of the cake. And this is going to give you a really nice sweet surprise when you're eating it. Now, you don't need to do this if you don't have any cream cheese, that's fine. You can also, if you want, if you have mandarin oranges or regular oranges, you could put a little orange slice in the center of the cake as well. Now that we're done putting the filling in the cakes, one last step we're going to do right before we bake it is take a wet paper towel or wet washcloth and take all this excess batter and topping and whatnot off of the top of the tins. Since this does have a very high sugar content, it does have a tendency to stick, and since these are pineapple upside down cakes or solstice cakes, we do want them to be able to release themselves from the tins. Now that we've finished cleaning up the edges of the tins, we're going to bake these at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Now I like to bake them on the same rack. And because these are kind of wide, like 2 pans tend to overlap, that's okay. Now we're going to set the timer for 25 minutes. And then see if they're done. It's been 25 minutes and the cakes are finished. Now you're going to notice that they are a little bit dark, and that's because of the high sugar content of the cakes. We're going to cool them on the top of the stove for about 3 to 4 minutes. And while they're cooling, take a knife and separate the edges from the tin so that they'll be easily released when we flip them over. Now that we've loosened all the edges and they've cooled for about 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to take a regular cookie sheet and put it on top of the tin and turn it over. And what this is going to do is have the cakes fall out onto here, and then all that nummy topping, the butter, and the melted brown sugar is going to run all over the little cakes. And we're going to keep them turned over and until they're all the way cooled, which is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes, and I apologize. I was so excited. I just took the tins off and put them in the soaking water so that I could soak off all the sugar and stuff, and I forgot to film it for you guys. I'm so sorry. But yay, they turned out beautifully. Yay! And let me tell you, these are some of the most decadent little cakes you will ever eat. Ugh. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing how we make our solstice cakes, and I really hope that you try these just once because they will soon be your favorite. Thank you so much for tuning in, and blessed be. Bye-bye.